What should we call you?
Huh? How about Gogeta?
In the film Dragon Ball Super, Broly, we saw that it took the fusion of Goku and Vegeta to overcome the legendary Saiyan. Of course WHIS or Beerus could beat him, but that just served as fanservice for Gogeta's appearance. Therefore, I believe they chose this film, which was canonical, to make this fusion more loyal, since it had few appearances in the Dragon Ball franchise, appearing only in the 15th film of the franchise Dragon Ball Z, Fusion Reborn, and in the latest episodes of Dragon Ball GT, where he appears in the form of Super Saiyan 4 to fight Shin-Shenron, a dragon that was created from the evil power of the Dragon Balls. In the film mentioned above, Gogeta appears for the first time to fight the demon Janemba, who was created as a result of all the evil of the dead gathered together. Of course, as I said in another video, Dragon Ball GT is a canonical anime, even though many people don't accept this truth. And as I mentioned in another video, it would be interesting to introduce the concept of Ultra Instinct into Dragon Ball Daima, since the Dragon Ball Daima anime will take place before Dragon Ball Super. That is, what I mean by all this is, will we have the fusion and presentation of Ultra Instinct at the same time in Dragon Ball Daima? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Join me on this epic journey by subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button so you don't miss any new videos. Are you ready? So let's travel to this universe of infinite possibilities that only Dragon Ball offers us. And well, my dear warriors, firstly, I would like to remind you of the whole subject of the canonicity of Dragon Ball GT and the introduction of Ultra Instinct in Dragon Ball Daima. Here is an excerpt from the video where I comment on these matters. It's practically an absolute truth that Goku and his friends will have to deal with demonic powers in the Makai Kingdom. Everything we saw in the trailer indicates that Akira-sensei will follow this path in the development of Dragon Ball Daima. However, just as I said in the video about the Dragon Ball Daima anime having as its main focus canonizing Dragon Ball GT and Super Saiyan 4, even if that doesn't happen, I believe there are two possibilities in which Akira will follow. The first is simply to give Goku a new transformation, and this, as I said before, goes in line with the video about Daima and Dragon Ball GT. I'll leave an excerpt from the video for those of you who haven't seen that video to understand better. Dragon Ball GT is a topic that causes a lot of division in the Dragon Ball community. For a long time, fans were divided on whether we should consider GT canonical or not. But it seems that Shueisha, the manga's publisher, has put an end to this discussion. An official timeline for the franchise was released at an event in 2017, and, to the surprise of many, Dragon Ball GT was there, looking pretty in the timeline. Dragon Ball GT came out in 1996, shortly after the end of the Dragon Ball manga. The anime was a Toei Animation initiative, and although Akira Toriyama was involved in character design, he did not have as active a role in the story. This is why many fans never saw GT as part of the canon. The release of Dragon Ball Super should have cleared up this confusion, right? Not exactly. The Japanese Dragon Ball Tenkaichi Budosai Festival was the stage where Shueisha showcased this famous timeline, which includes not only Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super, but also Dragon Ball GT. This reignited the debate, but apparently Shueisha and Toriyama had already confirmed this in other ways. In 2013, for example, there was an illustrated guidebook called Chosenshu 4, Dragon Ball Super Encyclopedia that also included GT in the canon. Therefore, this is not exactly new, but a reinforcement of a point that many fans refuse to accept. So why all this reluctance to accept GT as canon? One of the reasons is that GT is the not-so-loved relative of the Dragon Ball family. It made some bold changes to characters we love and introduced others that weren't very well received, just like what's happening with Dragon Ball Daima. But here's an important detail. Toriyama himself has said that he considers GT a minor part of Dragon Ball's story. Furthermore, he was involved in several stages of the anime's production. But the icing on the cake is the concept of parallel universes, which was introduced in Dragon Ball Super. Super Saiyan 4, for example, appears in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, a manga that explores these alternative realities. So perhaps the best way to approach this is to think of Dragon Ball GT as an alternate reality within the franchise's canon. Unless Toriyama or Shueisha says otherwise, Dragon Ball GT is as canon as any other part of the series. To conclude, in my view, the best way for this to happen is precisely with Dragon Ball Daima, because this way, we can have the much-loved Goku Super Saiyan 4, evil dragons among other things that were very interesting in Dragon Ball GT finally being accepted by the general public. In other words, this way, Goku could have a new transformation, be it Super Saiyan 4 or another specific and unique new transformation from Dragon Ball Daima, or we have the second possibility, which consists of using something that has already been established in Dragon Ball Super. Well, if Dragon Ball Daima is going to take place between the end of Dragon Ball Z and the beginning of Dragon Ball Super, it would be very interesting if Akira-sensei already provided some glimpse of what happens in Dragon Ball Super. And for me the best way to do this would be to introduce Ultra Instinct in its base form, Ultra Instinct Omen or Ultra Instinct Sign. Many people might say that Super Saiyan God would be the best choice since this form is revealed right at the beginning of Dragon Ball Super, and I tend to agree with that argument. However, introducing the concept of Ultra Instinct, even in its base form, would be even more interesting as it would make even more sense for Goku to master it in the future we already know. Think about the scenario where the supposed Demon King will confront Goku and his friends, and Goku needs even greater power since not even Super Saiyan 3 will be enough. So, in the same way as Super Saiyan 4, Goku would grow again when achieving Ultra Instinct Omen, of course in a very subtle and well-elaborated way. This way he would defeat this supposed Demon King and then he could return to his normal form, him and his friends, of course. That would be very interesting in my opinion. Anyway, as you can see, I really believe that everything can be done this way. And if all this really happens, we could see the fusion of Goku and Vegeta just as this fusion could be used, in a measured and initial way Ultra Instinct. After all, we saw in the Dragon Ball trailer Daima, Goku and Vegeta fighting against each other in what appears to be training, and it was clear that they are both going on this journey together. That would be truly incredible if it happened. But now I want to know your opinion about everything we talked about in today's video. And if you've made it this far, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos.